Hello, Mgtow Righteousness, coming back with another video. And as you can tell by the title, it's restoring the love between man and woman. For a lot of level one, level twos, but also too, as a man, if you just fall, back in love with a woman, there's some things that you must understand, you know, and I think women need to understand this aspect too. That women need to understand this aspect too. That loving a woman is only one part of a man. Man. Providing is another one part of a man, you know. And I think she has to respect that, But there's other parts. You have a spiritual side to you. You have your own characteristics. You have your hobbies, and so forth, and such as her, right? In a sense, MGTOW, men going their own way, not focusing on women and looking through the external and looking for into the internal, is actually a better way to pick out, better people, in a sense, restoring balance to what is really true, which is love. That's why I think that, in a sense, in righteousness, MGTOW is a good thing. And, men going their own way is something that shouldn't be looked down upon. And if you do fall back in love as a MGTOW level one, level two, that's fine. That's okay. But you do have level three, level fours, like even level three MGTOWs. Their way of life is like to them is just fit fulfilling their sexual needs, in a sense. That's what they look as women as, like disposable. Like that's what they do. And then you have level fours that just don't deal with women at all. They're not gay or nothing. They're just heterosexual. They're like, I'm done with this shit. Like, fuck it. Or not in a sense like that. Just in a sense like, I'm living my life, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And they find things to do in the meantime. And you have MGTOW level fives that will literally just leave the whole society. And I said this before, and level ones, level twos, MGTOWs, and even for righteous men listening, restoring balance. The best way is to, first, love yourself, you know, and honor yourself, and when she sees that, she'll do the same to you. Now, I understand you have a lot of, you know, I guess you could say a lot of uh, premature sex and stuff like that going on. That's been going on for years. But the thing is, MGTOW, as my fellow men, these times are when the evil deeds are gonna continue. It's up to you and me and other men that are true to, in a sense, fight, in a sense, in a way, and, and try to create some positive energy out into the universe, and actually have a outlet, in a sense. So what I mean by that is, if somebody has a good energy, like if somebody opens the door for somebody, right, and that person goes in and pays for the gas or whatever, and the guy who opened the doors behind them, that person that leaves, that was in front of them, that got the door open for them, that positive energy could transfer to something else. He might let somebody go, the person trying to get over into another lane, things like that. But that's those energies constricted together, going into your work office, going into life, marriage, wedding, home, if you about to go to a business school, you know, whatever you're doing, even if you're just going home, coming off of practice, those energies really matter in life. That's the balance. You laughing with your friends and family. That's what's the actual balance in the universe, you know. people coming together in good time, people coming together talking, commenting about God. God's in the middle. That's what balances out the universe and makes sure the universe is frictioned out. Yes, you have negativity, but in a sense, you have to be balanced within yourself as a man before you approach a woman. If you're going to approach a woman, I mean, that's just what I say. But it's a whole spiritual thing when I think when it comes to women. I don't necessarily um talk to women, but I mean I'm still attracted to them, but when I look at them, I actually try to like look into them spiritually a little bit without even really saying much to them. You know, just try to see what they're about just by their body movements and what they do. But that's all that is just making sure whatever you do is best. Now, in a sense, Mgtow, you not talking to women and you not, messing with women is making you focused on your life and, making positive outcomes for yourself, but also learning to take your time with a woman, and that brings a positive balance. Because if you take your time, if you don't rush about, the sexual need and lust, then the woman will have to reform. Now, you're gonna have a lot of women that they talk better than they walk. I'm not gonna lie. They'll tell you, yeah, I want a nice guy. They'll tell you, yeah, I want a nice guy. They'll tell you, yeah, I don't want to have sex, right? Or I want to meet. As soon as you hold sex from them and try to be their friends for maybe a month, they leave or they get banged or they got somebody else. So you cannot believe what women say. You have to know what's honorable for yourself and for the higher spirit. Because you got to understand, there's a higher power. There's a higher power. And you will find through life the woman that you need. Okay? In a sense, it's like an adventure. And that, in a sense, is going to bring a balance. That's going to bring positive outlight to the masses. It's all about energy. And, in a sense, things that trickle down like a domino effect. But that's how you and once women their ambition is based off of man's man's success in a sense, like what we do and what we accomplish. They want to accomplish, they want to do it for themselves. So if men in a sense started looking at women in a different light, in a more uh in a spiritual sense, in a more internal of who you are, what you're about, like instead of that would bring balance. But the reason why I say men and not women, because women do not have the light how men have it. Because everything that in the world based off of good and evil is off of men. No matter who's in power, woman's gonna follow. you know so that's why it's up to man to restore balance, but in restoring balance you have to you know mend yourself. Whatever you need to do, forgive your father. Your father wasn't there. That's the best thing he ever did for you was give you life. You don't have no strife. One of the best things to do is never having any strife with your father. you know to understand how to become like your father in a sense, really and truly. So because when you don't forgive your father, you keep the traits of the mother. You keep the traits of the mother. Then you become angry at yourself because you're not doing this right. You're acting like a woman. You can't hold a woman. You can't be cool amongst other men. All other types of issues. You must forgive yourself first. You know, and men can rise and step up to the occasion. You know, MGTOW's change is here. Change is proceeding. It's step by step. You know, like I said before. It's moving. Mgtow is growing. You know, understanding when women when women can understand that men look at them internally, they'll have to reform to that. So if men did that on the masses, that is the key. And sometimes you might not necessarily get the woman you might expect to have, and that is the truth. My fellow brothers, my fellow Mgtows, my fellow level 1, level 2 Mgtows, my fellow men, my noblemen, my countrymen, my radical men, my survivalist men, you know, those type of men that are, if anybody listens, and to a woman too as well, if she wishes to listen amongst my Mgtow contact. But at the same time, men have to step up to the plate. And with that, have a nice Saturday, my fellow righteous men. Stay pure, stay clean, stay on the path. I'm out.